concussed. He was still on the trolley when I came in at the end of the game, so obviously he was concerned enough, but he's up and walking around. Not quite himself yet, but he's up and about and wondering what's going on.
Glad he was up and about. In terms of the match itself, what are your initial thoughts of I suppose it was a topsy-turvy game, particularly in that last quarter?
Yeah, it had a little bit of everything. The unexpected was popping up at times, wasn't it? And that was the game in the end. But I mean, in the call out today, I thought South Africa deserved to win the game. So congratulations to them. The first half, I thought we was off. I thought we give away access for them to be able to play their game defensively. We was a bit passive, certainly for the first try. But then the story of the game for me, after some words at half time, was I thought it was courageous at times how we defended and got ourselves back into the game. In fact, you know, it's the makeup of this team, and you know the history would say that even with the type of performance in the first half, we hung on in there and we don't go away. You know, there's plenty of teams that would have been under the pump in the first half like that and got the game run away with in the second half, and we didn't. We stayed in the fight and could have, would have, should have at times. You know, with some decisions that rightly or wrongly didn't go our way.
Peter, what did you make of those decisions? Do you feel they're hard done by? TMO calls?
Well, it's not for me to say, is it? But I saw quite a few of them live, and I had a dubious thought about it. But anyway, that's life, isn't it? You know, it's we'll go through the right channels and make sure that we do things properly as far as that's concerned. I mean, you'll make of it what you want. We have to go through the right channels. Unlucky, lucky. That's the game as well.
Okay. There was just James Lowe looked like somebody who's been practicing his outfield work on the boundary, keeping the ball in play. So it went against him, I suppose.
What did you think?
Well, I just wondered, like, do you back him in those situations? The fact that he was trying to keep the ball alive and it backfired on him.
Well, I'm more disappointed with it. It was a special play by Colby to chase that ball, and it's one of the reasons why they won the World Cup, within chasing down the kicker in France. But we were slack, not backing James up. You'll make your own decision of whether he still had the ball in his right hand or whether the ball hit him as he threw the ball back into field and his foot was in touch. That's for us all to debate.
Andy, does that stuff hurt more, that, say that example, or some of the stuff you mentioned first, that it doesn't seem to be technical or tactical? Does that hurt you guys more?
No, Murray, it is what it is. That's the sport. It's difficult to referee. You just want consistency. That's all, you know. And you know, sometimes it goes for you, and sometimes it doesn't. You know, I mean, you'll make your own decision on the Craig thing. I mean, on
your own performance.
Sorry.
The fact that you didn't win the scraps there off James is tough. In the first half, it would be passive.
Yeah, you've got to make your own luck as well, haven't you? By covering all bases, and we know that they're a team that fights for those scraps, and we needed to be better in that instance.
The second, the one, you get to a point where you're winning the score, they've got a new 10 on, he makes a mistake, and you compound the wrong word, but James makes it. The mistake as the ball's heading towards what would have been a scrum against 14 men on halfway. Is that a mental error? Is that, given the amount of work you put into your mental mentality and all sort of stuff, is it disappointing, and does it remind you a little bit of Twickenham when you maybe switched off in the end?
I wouldn't say, yeah, it's an error. It's an error, and I've no doubt that James will put his hand up to that. I actually thought, you know, it's fool's gold, isn't it, really? I mean, some of the kick-offs in the first half as well, Craig caught and we ended up 20 metres out from our own line. if you've got the courage to let it bounce, it probably goes dead. But at the same time, if it bounces up, you look stupid, you know. So we don't know what could have happened either way, really.
Peter, can I just ask you, just what was that like to play in? What was your sense of the game? Because you hung on in there for a long time when you had a lot of ball. They were going wide, wider than we've ever seen them before.
Yeah, look, it was an intense test match. I think Andy alluded to it. We were chasing the game a little bit, certainly in the first half, defensively. With the way they played a bit deeper and a bit wider. Some of our I think, decision making around our defensive calling probably wasn't good enough, and then some of our tackling wasn't good enough either. So it was a hugely competitive test match, intense game, as you'd expect. But we were off in a few areas.
I remember in Auckland, you were interviewed on the pitch after that first test. You were convinced that you could bounce back and win a series. Do you feel the same way now? I know you can't win the series now, but do you feel this team has it within it to bounce back and beat the next one?
Yeah, 100%. This team has a huge amount of character, and don't get me wrong, it's a tough place to come and play rugby. Of course it is, but I think we've all the football and tactical side of it. We need to make sure that we deliver it on the pitch.
I'll go back to you.
What do you think you have to do going into the Durban test to draw? Are there things that you would change?
Quite a bit, actually. I suppose the main thing is attacking the game the way that we want to do it, and not being desperate next week just because we've lost this week, because if that creeps in, then you become even more ill-disciplined, and I think discipline cost us. I know that the penalty count wasn't outrageous, but it's the way that we put pressure on ourselves and relieve pressure for them is what we need to address. And there's some great learnings from the first half that we put right in the second half. I think we was still not clinical enough when we had chances, certainly on the Springboks line. You've got to convert in big games like this, there's no doubt about that. And if you put things like that right, we were still in the game, so that says to you that we've got a chance.
Last question for the live section. Would you say, is Dan Sheehan a doubt for next week? That's a knee injury.
I'd say so, yeah. There's a few that we need to assess over the next 24 hours.
Okay, for Mondays, Rory, I'm going to ask, so this is embargoed until Monday morning, please. And Peter, if you want to just ask Peter an early question, then I'll excuse him, you can speak to Andy, okay?
Peter, what do you want to see from the group in the next couple of days?
We want to see what we do every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is we go and review the game, and we're not going to be roaring and shouting. You know what I mean? There's stuff to be sorted out. It's an honest group. We look back and deliver the messages that we need to deliver, and take the lessons. And we've a test match in 7 days' time. To go and do something special at the end of our season. So, a big response from us is needed 100%.
Are there any further questions for Peter before I excuse him? Okay, Peter, you're done. Thank you very much. And just continue with Andy, please. Rory?
Andy, can I just ask you the same question? You responded before when things kind of get through. What do you want to see from the players this week?
Well, first and foremost, to make sure that they turn up for work in the right manner, not feeling sorry for themselves, so that they're open enough to be honest and learn the lessons quickly and put them right, and attack the week and have a good week and enjoy it. It's our last week of the season. We should be buzzing for that. But you only get to that point if you're able to be honest and straight with each other. So there's a few things that we need to probably get off our chest at the beginning of the week and then push forward together.
Just asking how you felt Jamie went.
Yeah, I thought he was good. He actually came off with a groin injury, so it's unfortunate for him. he's got some presence in the air, hasn't he? You know, he's athletic, he's big. You know, when the team's a little bit on the back foot in the first half, it's difficult for him. When the team's on the front foot, it's obviously easier for everyone, especially guys like Jamie, who are very good on the front foot, playing with ball in hand.
Andy, can I ask you, the last time Ireland toured you was in 2016. Durban wasn't part of that tour.
Yeah.
Your personal experience of Durban, and how do you guys prepare for the conditions over there in Durban?
Well, looking forward to going tomorrow. I believe it's 23 degrees, so a couple of degrees higher than here. Certainly not as high, being at sea level. So we'll enjoy our time. We've enjoyed our time here in Joburg. We've been well looked after. It's great to come to an iconic stadium like this, and we're going to another one next week.
John?
Andy, can I ask you what pleased you about the performance as well? Because there were aspects of it that were very good. There
was that, again, the obvious one is we never go away. There's fight there, and we always give ourselves a little bit of hope, and with a little bit of luck, it could have been a little bit closer. You know, you don't always win a game, even when you've played the best. But certainly a few things went against us, and that's just life. But we can certainly play better than that. I've no doubt South Africa would 100% say the same. So therefore we roll on to next week, and again, if we can be honest with each other, then I'm sure that we'll attack this in the manner that it deserves.
Last two questions, please, Murray, then Neil.
And how did you feel the halfbacks went?
I thought Craig was good. I actually thought Connor was excellent when he came on. Connor's been great as well during the week. He's playing a lot quicker. He's in good nick, and obviously there to support and score the try. But Craig was good. Look, he's a 50-22. He's sniping around there. He's led really well this week. Jack, I'm sure that he'll be disappointed with one or two things of his game, but that's what happens at Test match rugby. It's not all smelling of roses, is it?
Last question. Yeah.
And you, just to go back on the first half, you said earlier on that you'd kind of say a few honest things at half time. Did South Africa show you things that you weren't expecting early on in the game, with how willing they were to go wide early on, or did you just not execute it?
No, he wasn't sticking to our plan in regards to how we defend. You know, they obviously got us with a bit of width, with the depth that they played. We've got to have better solutions than what we dished up there. It looked like we was half in it. In the second half, it was completely different. So that's not right, is it?
Okay, thanks, Andy. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.